Welcome to Uber Tales from the Crypt. Don't shoot the driver. Oh, wait a minute.
Tales from the Crypt? What the fuck?
Don't shoot the driver. I'm just the messenger, man.
No, just shoot Joshua. That's okay.
I was going to say Brad crawled up out of the crypt.
Maybe I did. Maybe.
Yeah.
From the Crypt. New episodes. Well, so welcome everyone to Uber Tales. Don't shoot the driver. Another exciting episode of what craziness goes on the back of Brad's car.
My car? No,
and Joshua's car.
It's all of our cars. It's not just mine.
It's not just
Mine's
your
boring.
car.
I'm boring.
Well,
You're
he
boring.
is. He's
back
plain
there.
Jane over here. Plain
Yes.
Joe.
Plain Joe Jane.
Look at him. Just solid colors. Just black.
He's solid. He's totally
grays.
boring.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Square.
who are we? We had been talking, but I don't know whose story we're going with today. Nobody.
Yeah, we're gonna go with my story.
Okay, we're going with Brad.
Yeah.
All right, Brad's
I
got.
suppose.
And this is the latest and greatest, right? This is
Yeah,
something that's
this is something
pretty
that
recent.
recently happened. So I'm still following up on a lot of the story, but it
Following up
yeah.
on. Ooh, that's
so,
a.
yeah. There's some
that's
things
a
that are
little-
kind of in the
There's a little
works.
something extra there. Okay.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
So to be
following up
continued,
on
I
the story.
guess you
It
could
means
say?
you're getting tested for venereal disease or what?
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. He's still following
Right.
up.
I know. I gotta follow.
Is
up
it
on
for
something.
life?
That's to be determined.
To be determined. Okay. I'm sorry.
All
I
right.
took us down a path.
No, you're fine. So this actually happened to me within the last couple of days. So this is really recent. So I had gotten this request. If you guys are familiar with the Valley, I'd gotten a request when I was on my way to take some passengers to West Valley, and it was far enough out there that they're kind of on the border between like West Valley and Magna, and
West Valley and no man's land.
yeah, exactly, the middle of nowhere.
Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So I drop off these people, and then I proceed to go to the next pickup, which is the story I'm going to tell. And so I'm on my way out there. I get to this like apartment complex that's, you can tell, kind of run down. And I was waiting there for a couple minutes, and this chick comes out, and she's walking down the stairs. And it was a 2-story apartment building.
Okay, describe it for us.
So 2-story, kind of run down old apartment
She's
building.
walking
Looked like it was
downstairs.
like the I would say built in like the late 90s, well, early 90s.
Not super being taken care of.
Yeah, not well maintained, so you can kind of tell. And she's coming down, and there's a guy that's like standing at the top of the stairs watching her walk down to get in my car. So I'm like,
Weird.
yeah, I thought that was kind of weird.
Could be her
Although,
boyfriend, though.
yeah,
Could
well,
be her boyfriend, just
yeah.
making sure she's
Goodbye,
getting to the
honey.
Uber safe, you know.
Love
Yeah,
you.
I mean, normally I get that, but you could just kind of tell like something was off. So I was like, huh.
But
What-
this
what
sounds
this
like a
dude look
dumpier area, though.
Yeah,
Correct?
well,
It's
yeah.
kind of like
What did he look like?
God, I'm gonna be a stereotypical person here and say your typical Asian guy.
Typical Asian guy.
Yeah.
Asian
What
dude.
is a?
Okay.
What exactly is a typical Asian guy? He's 5'6".
Sure.
black hair.
We'll go with 5'6". Shorter than you, Bobby. Let's say
Shorter
that.
I could say
than
so
me.
much shit, but
Yeah, I know. We
okay,
could get
he's an
really
Asian
bad.
guy. I think we all know.
Yeah,
what an Asian guy
I
looks
think
like.
you didn't need to say typical. He's an Asian
Okay.
fella.
My bad. Just an Asian fella.
Standing up
An
there.
average sized
Looking at an average size. And he's standing there looking at this Asian girl.
No, she was a white chick.
Okay.
A little bit. So I would say she's probably like 5'4", 5'5". Not overweight, but not extremely overweight. So she had like blonde hair, kind of like
Husky.
sure you could say husky.
Okay, that's
Fun
something
size.
you fun size.
Yeah.
That sounds better than
Okay.
husky. Husky sounds like
You guys are gonna be eating your
some
words.
kid. Yeah. This is,
Oh, are we?
Because we don't know
Maybe.
what's going
We
on.
don't-
That's
yeah,
right.
We don't know what's
Exactly.
coming next.
We
Okay.
have no idea what
Maybe.
road we're going down, and you do. So,
I do. So it's kind of interesting.
so there she is.
So there she
walking
is.
Down
So
the
she's
stairs.
walking down the stairs.
Is she
gets
graceful?
into the car.
she graceful?
I don't know. I'm not watching her walk down the stairs, Bobby.
I thought you were.
I just
How
saw
Bobby's
her.
mind
And
works.
I knew that was my passenger.
You gotta be an education for the human.
I'm not
condition.
a stalker. I don't need to watch what she's doing.
Dude, you don't have to
She's
be
coming
a
down
stalker
the stairs. The wind's blowing through her hair.
Yeah, that's
There
what
you
I.
go.
There you
All right.
go. The wind's blowing.
Okay.
Her.
I don't
So-
care about the wind. I care about if she gets in my car or not.
I know, but we're doing a podcast and people are listening to this.
I'm
thing.
pretty sure that
So,
people do not care if
this-
the wind is blowing.
so this-
Trust me, it's about putting a picture in their head.
Was there or not a leaf blowing through the wind?
Fuck if
went
I
through
know.
her
It was-
fucking hair. Like,
it was late at
was
night.
it magical? Was it a moment, Brad?
Well, how long was her hair? Where
Come
was
on.
it? Where was
It
her
was
hair?
short. It was
Yeah.
like to the back of her neck. So
Okay.
she was kind of shorter, blonde.
Shorter blonde. She's coming
yeah,
down the stairs.
coming down the
Alright,
stairs.
So,
She's
So I see her get into
fun-sized.
my car, and you
Yeah.
know, I launch into my usual,
Gets
you know,
in the
greeting.
back.
Yeah,
She
gets in the back.
opens the door.
Yep, launch into my normal greeting. Hey, how's it going? Blah 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 blah. And I could
Is that
tell
your
she's
boyfriend?
like, well, no, I could tell she was like, when I
she
said
was
how's
flustered.
it going, she was kind of flustered. So she's like, she took a breath. She's like, well, it's going, you know. So I could tell something was up.
Something, yeah. that
Yeah,
energy.
so I'm like, okay. Like, and then I said, well, is everything okay? She's like, yeah. And then she waited a couple, like, probably 30 seconds and then started kind of opening up and telling me. So
After you started driving.
after
So
I
you're
started driving.
off.
So started to drive away, got out of the apartment complex, and she starts to tell me, she's like, yeah, so that was my ex-boyfriend that you're picking me up from. He's the one who actually ordered the Uber, so I didn't even know her name at the time. So she
So
proceeds
what was
to
the
tell
dude
me,
name on the Uber thing?
let's say,
Jackie Chan.
yeah, let's say Jackie.
There you go. Yeah. Okay.
We'll keep it simple with
Okay.
Jackie
I had
because it
to.
was a simple
Sorry.
name. So
Okay.
I want
Alright.
to keep in theme.
This episode won't be airing in China.
No. Or anywhere. Anyways, so she starts telling me, she's like, yeah, so he's my ex-boyfriend. I'm trying to get away from him. I came over tonight
Wait,
because
she's trying to get away from him.
we'll get there.
Okay. All right.
It
always
does
weird
seem a
when
little, it does
she's
seem a
with
little
him,
odd
right?
that she's with
Okay.
him.
Well,
Well,
yes,
you're going to
Trying to
tell
get
us.
away. Okay.
We're jumping ahead, I have a feeling.
a little bit.
Okay.
Go ahead, Brad.
So she starts to tell me that she's trying to get away from him because he has beat her multiple times. She's left him black and he's left her black and blue. She's filed police reports on him multiple times, and she was over there last night because he was trying to convince her to drop the charges. He goes to court on Tuesday, and he is going away for a long, long time. So she's trying to he's trying to convince her to drop it. So we start talking, and
Did
I
she
tell her,
say
well, I'm
why
glad.
she went over there?
She didn't really mention that.
Because that.
That seems
I
a
mean,
little
I know
goofy.
with abusers though, it's a weird
Yes.
Dynamic,
thing that they
yeah.
don't. For some reason, they, when the abuser has control of the person,
Correct.
that's a hard one.
So this is where it was kind of like, it starts to get interesting from the conversation standpoint for me, because from an Uber driver perspective, I am looking to make sure that I can leave some sort of mark or imprint on people as I interact with them. So I'm trying to I'm
Is that
struggling
in
for a
the
minute.
Uber documentation?
Damn straight.
Please leave
Right.
some
Good
kind of an
experience.
impact with
Yeah.
all
Good
the
experience.
people. Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there thinking okay, what can I say to make her realize that this is a bad situation that she needs to do? So basically we started talking, and I'm like, well, are you going to drop the charges? And she's like, absolutely not. So that kind of put me in the mindset of understanding, okay, she gets it. She knows what's going on here. She knows that what she needs to do. So she starts, telling me a little bit more about her life as we're driving. So I'm taking her from Magna, which is about 25-30 minutes away, to we'll say Sugar House. So it's probably a good 35-minute ride.
Yeah.
So as we're talking, she starts telling me a little bit about the situation and more of her situation. So we start talking, and she's like, yeah, you know what? I moved out trying to get away from him. I've been with a friend of his that's they've had a falling out. I'm staying at his house. He's let me be there the last couple months. So she's trying to get enough money and a deposit down to get a place of her own. So she's making the right steps and doing everything that she needs to do. So as we're kind of talking, we're talking about that. We're talking about, like, I'm asking her, hey, is your family here to help you? Is there anything that you can do? So like, are you ready to better your situation? Or have you thought about school? Are you set from a job perspective? Because, I do sell people.
You went into counselor mode.
Yeah,
let's counsel this.
It's like he's
person.
become like a full-on psychiatrist or something.
Right.
Here's the prescription.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I start talking to her about all this. She's like, yeah, I'm set with my job. I only have do? So she's a nurse, and wow. she's currently working at a doctor's office, but she's only got, like, I think she said she has like 5 or 6 classes left, and then she's done with her nursing degree. So she's working towards that, but unfortunately she ended up getting a DUI. So she's been Ubering for the past 3 years because the judge apparently threw the book at her, and so she can't drive. She doesn't have a car.
Oh, interesting.
So she's been Ubering all this time, and it's taken its toll. But kind of some of the things that she has to do to finish school, like, they have her going to the different campuses and the different hospitals, and the one they have her going to is like 45 minutes away from her. So she's struggling with them to get her something closer. So as we're kind of going through this, like, she's telling me everything, and I'm like, do you have family that can help you? Is there somebody that's, do you have like a support system around you? Is there anything you can do? She's like, well, my family's kind of mad at me. Like, I was staying with my sister for a little while. I was staying on her couch. And she's like, we got into a falling out, so she's not really helping me. I have 2 more sisters, and one's here. The other just wants to be on her own. She just moved in with her boyfriend, so I really don't have anything.
Bit of a basket case, this one.
Yeah. You can tell, right?
Yeah, that's...
She's in a precarious situation.
Oh, yeah, that's
totally.
A tough one.
Totally a tough situation.
Yeah.
This is where you're like, well, sorry.
Okay, thank you for the ride.
Right. Yeah. So as we're kind of like getting up to the destination, I was like, well, do you have money for a car? Is there something else you can do? Is there anything you can do to, kind of just what needs to be done to help you get in a better position?
What can I do for you today?
Well, I'm not going that far.
Let me help you.
I'm giving her the ride. That's how I'm helping her.
Do you want to stay at my house?
Yeah, I'm like, where are we going with this?
No vacancy here. No vacancy.
So where are you going?
So we're dropping her off, and she's like, yeah, I really hate being here. Like, I don't want to be here.
To be clear, you're dropping her off. It's not we. You said we, and that sounded weird.
Just
you
me.
meant we. Okay.
Just
me.
you
meant you. Okay.
I was there in spirit, guys.
Don't you guys you guys are always around with me whenever I ride?
Oh, there we go. This is my clan. Yeah, my tribe here.
My Uber tribe.
So, yeah, as I'm dropping her off, she's like, God, I really don't want to be here. Like, this guy's trying to get me to sleep with him just to pay the rent.
The boyfriend.
As for the rent.
The boyfriend?
No, the friend.
Or the friend of
the friend
of her boyfriend.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So
I was wondering about that. So,
yeah,
so he's like, yeah, stay here all you want. And if you want for free.
Yeah. So that's kind of where she's
at. Just some extracurricular.
Yeah. So,
dude, that sucks.
I know, right? So it's a shitty situation. So as I dropped her off, I got out of the car, I gave her a hug, and I gave her $50 and says, "Here, I hope this helps."
Oh my gosh, Brad! How can we call him the asshole who does stuff like that?
I had to flip it on you guys.
Yeah, I don't know. You can still be an asshole and do nice things.
Absolutely, I 100% agree with that.
Why
do it?
Yeah, what made you, what happened, Brad? What went on in Brad's head that he's like, I'll just throw that fare that I totally got, just throw all the money away on the fare.
Well, no. So, not on the fare, because the guy, the boyfriend was actually paying for the Uber ride. So I was like, fuck it, I'll charge him, yeah.
Right.
But no.
But that fare that you made, you just gave to her.
Well, and then some. But yeah, like, I mean, you never know when somebody's having a bad day or somebody's down. And I just felt that was one of those days, and somebody just needed some help, and I wanted to be able to provide some help.
And that's not something you could do all the time.
No. Why would I?
But I find it interesting that you really felt this time that this was.
I mean,
and
every
is
now
it
and
just
again
in
you
your
get this
spirit?
feeling.
You said, this girl really needs some positiveness.
Yeah.
Right this second.
I mean,
no matter all of the craziness, maybe she's the problem, and she's the has all she's just a horrible person
yeah, I
or
mean,
whatever.
that's-
But you felt like,
Yeah.
no, this person needs an uplift.
You could tell she needed the uplift. Like she was so close on a lot of things in her life, but she was just coming up just a little bit short. And you could see that. And for me, it was more just like, how can I at least give some positivity, or how can I impact you in some way? She was crying when she got into the car, and she was crying when she left the car. And it wasn't, I hope I made a mark on her to say hey, you know what? It's okay. Shit happens. Life happens. But you're so close. Just continue on. Continue to do the things that you're doing, and you'll be rewarded.
Yeah. That's cool.
Right?
Yeah.
A little bit shorter of a story.
Well, and I think, how often do Uber drivers give money to the passengers? I would say that's not very often.
I would think that's pretty rare.
And I just find it fascinating that you felt prompted, and I got to know.
Convicted,
Yeah,
You feel
Joshua.
like-
How do you? I mean, because you're an Uber driver, how do you feel? Do you ever are in a situation where somebody's down on their luck in the back seat, and you just feel like, man, I do wish I could do something for that person?
Yeah, all the time. But
Liar.
no, of course.
I know.
No,
I'm just
all the
giving
time.
you shit.
But the thing is, you don't know. People could be
The whole
spinning a
story.
tail there, looking for they're having their little soap opera moment with you.
Pity.
Yeah, pity party. They're just like, oh, I'm so, this, that.
But you
and
can
the other thing.
kind of
You don't
tell a
know.
lot of
Oh,
times.
absolutely.
Can't you?
I think you
I
can.
don't. Well, sometimes you can tell. Sometimes I feel like you can't. I
Some
don't
people
know.
are really good at it.
Yeah, some people, they're going through life playing that victim card all the time. Oh, this has failed. I'm failing. I'm falling apart. But, it's funny he's talking about this story because, I was, for the listeners, this is a little behind the scenes. I was sharing some girl had given me her number anyways, and I was sharing it with Bobby and Brad and showing them.
And her pictures. She's quite cute.
You don't have to say the picture
And you were
part, Bobby.
showing pictures of you
Bobby,
too.
you don't
You
have
were
to do-
quite
Oh,
cute on
Jesus
those
Christ.
pictures too.
Jesus Christ.
So
anyways,
anyway,
but
she was cute.
yeah,
I'm just gonna say it.
But that girl, there's an example of someone who was really down. I picked when I picked her up in the morning, she was really down, really upset.
Oh,
She'd had
is this the girl you showed us pictures of?
Yeah.
Oh.
She'd had some some things in her life happen. I won't go into her.
And you cheered her
specific
up by
details.
sending her a picture of you
No.
from your car.
No,
It's a
because
cute
I'm-
picture.
no,
I gotta
because I'm
say,
just-
it's a cute picture of you too, man.
It's from my Facebook. It's a public. Okay, it's public. Anyways,
Sure.
Yeah, it's not a dick pic or anything crazy like that. That's just
no,
stupid.
it's a cool, classy car.
Yeah,
pic,
it's definitely a classy
my old
picture.
Mustang. Anyways,
Yeah.
but no, she was having a really bad day. But the thing is, when she got in, she was super quiet. And I always say, and this was in the morning, and I always say hey, how's your morning going? Because it's a good way to gauge. Some people are like,
What's
oh, it's
going
going
on?
great, or some people are just like, oh, it's not been so good. And I'll be like, oh, well, what's going on? I'll say it just like that. I want to ask if I can, I would just say, what's going on? And sometimes they'll say, most of the times they'll be like, yeah, this, that, and the other thing. Well, she was having a really bad day, and she'd been having a bad couple past months because of what had been occurring in her life, So same thing, and so, I kind of do what Brad did. I don't give people money, but I will give them either support, hey, keep your chin up, and yeah, shit happens just like that. Life happens. It's okay. In this particular girl's case,
You gave her your number.
No, she gave me her number.
Right.
And
You just reciprocated.
yeah, I reciprocated. Why not? And,
Yeah, why not?
I mean, I'm new to the city, and I can always meet and get to know people. I have no problem with that.
Get to know. Huh?
God damn it, Brad. Anyways, so
This is
know?
really interesting to me that it puts it in a whole different light. It's almost like you guys as Uber drivers are almost now like the bartenders, where you'll listen to people's problems
Yeah. I
and
mean,
help them out,
absolutely.
or the hairstylist, or
Yeah.
Those
well,
confidants.
problems, it's a part of life, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what do people mostly like to talk about generally?
themselves.
Themselves or their problems,
Yeah.
Well, the
But-
whole point of me wanting to share this story is not for the fact that we are trying to help somebody. It's just so many times you get people that just hop into an Uber and want to just share their feelings or their thoughts with a stranger and somebody that's an outside voice, just to be able to get it off their chest.
Yep.
Yeah, that's so
And
interesting.
It's an awesome thing to do, and I don't know why, but this one just kind of touched me. I mean, I've never done anything like this before, and I don't want to say never, but I don't plan on doing it again. But if something like this happens,
So,
then,
if anybody meets up with Brad, just tell him a good
give me just a
story.
shitty, like, just give me your shittiest story.
Brad's hitting it like nail on the head, though. He like exactly what he just said in this exact scenario this morning with that girl. She just needed someone to talk to. She comes from a very strict religious background. Her family's very strict, a very strict particular religion that is just following it is very strict. And I understand it because I'm half Middle Eastern, and she's like Middle Eastern. She follows a Middle Eastern religion. I'll just say it like that, and it is very strict. And so she can't really talk about certain things, and I get that completely. Mm-hmm. So she was in the back, and at varying points, she started like breaking down, crying, and she's like, "I don't know why I'm telling you this." I said, "You're telling me this because you need to talk to someone.
You need to voice it.
You need
it.
Yeah, you got to get it out of your heart, out of your chest, and you need someone to share with." And I said, "There's no." She's like, "I feel so ashamed." I was like, "Of what?" I said, "I'm a human." I said, "You think I haven't had a bad day or bad things?" I said, "Of course." I said, "We're human beings." And I said, "It's okay to be able, to talk to someone." And then, and then also, I'm the type of guy, like, if you share whatever your little secrets with me, I'm gonna keep them. I'm not gonna spread them
unless you're on an Uber Tales.
Well, no. See, I'm telling like
I know
but I'm not gonna go into details about what was going on. Obviously, I would never
her
do
and
that.
Fred were
Trust.
having a really private problem.
Yes, there was some Asian guy involved. And that's an
He gets
odd
it
thing.
right.
Now, when you think Asian guys, just to put it out there, you really don't think like they're beating their.
No, you really don't.
You really
That's,
don't.
Yeah.
But
That's the thing is, like, you could see, like, when I saw her walking down the stairs and he was just kind of like hovering, I could just see that something was up, something was different, and that's where I started the conversation the way I did with her, is because I could tell.
It's insensitive, but I feel like in that moment I would have been like, when he's like, "Yeah, he's beat me," I'd be like, "What, does he know kung fu?" Because
I
trained in martial arts.
I will go kick his ass if he doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's so interesting. Would you say that as an Uber driver, somebody that like is interested about the human condition, that driving Uber is a pretty cool way to see the human condition?
Yes, 110%.
In all facets, 110%, yes.
110%.
And
you
good
get to
and in
talk.
bad.
Because I always liked going to the airport and just looking at people. It's like, wow,
Yeah,
there's just a gamut of funky folks in the world. But you don't get to talk to them, because if you go up and talk to them, they kind of think you're weird.
They look at you weird.
They look at you weird. I was doing that at the mall once when I was younger, and there was this girl in a one of the little places where they sell clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
She was sitting there watching me sit out and watching the people. And I don't know what happened. She was looking at me or something. So I went and talked to her, and we became kind of good friends.
Oh, cool.
And she told me, that day you were, and I was like, yeah, I was just people watching. She's like, yeah, I thought you were a serial killer. She's like, I was pretty sure you were a serial
Kind of low key.
killer.
We've got Bobby he's like, I go to airports and I watch
Right?
people. When I was young.
Come on.
When I
kinda
was
what
young,
I
You
thought.
can't
I go
tell
to
me you
malls
guys don't
and watch
like that.
people.
Me and my wife, we go
He
on
was looking
date
for those
night.
little thumbs, Brad.
Oh my gosh.
That's exactly what he was doing. I knew it, Bubby. I knew it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Me and my wife go on date night, and we'll go up into the Harmons, and they have this
Oh, yeah, the
up
mezzanine.
thing, the
Yeah,
upstairs.
yeah.
Well, they have the
Yeah.
upstairs thing,
Yeah.
and you can sit right there on the edge. You can look down, and nobody looks up.
No.
Oh my gosh, it is so fun. We will tell whole stories about these people. We will make up, oh my gosh, they're fighting, or
That's
oh,
cute.
they hate
I
each
like
other,
that.
or oh, this must be a first date, or wow, those two don't fit at all. Why are they together? That's weird.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
I love
it's
that.
It's a
That's really-
blast.
that is-
And
that would be fun.
That's one of our favorite date nights, to go up, because nobody looks up.
Yeah.
You can sit and stare and talk about them all you want, and nobody, they don't even know.
No, nobody knows. Like,
And you can't tell me that's not fun. It's freaking fun.
Oh, it is. I mean, you
sounds
never
like
know.
fun.
Like, people just don't pay attention. if you just take a minute to just sit back and watch, you'll find some interesting things.
Human beings are fascinating. We just are
Or
fascinating.
dumbasses.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's fascinating to me. How
In some
stupid
aspects.
people can be.
Some aspects. Yeah.
And then it's
Yes,
interesting
it depends, but yeah.
that you guys really get to see it and kind of communicate with the human condition.
oh, all walks
Yeah.
of life.
Interesting.
You see it all. Even like the really rich.
Except
to the
old
really
people
poor.
like me that don't do Uber. You're missing out.
That too. Yeah.
No,
Yes.
believe it or not, Bobby, there's a lot of old people that do Uber.
Okay.
I was actually talking to somebody that was telling me, I think it was another Uber driver. He was saying, like, I never really realized how much old people use Uber until he was in this community, and it's like, holy shit, that makes sense because it's easier for them to do Uber and to get around and to do
Yeah.
what they need.
Yeah.
And funny enough is I don't know, like, I think it's Medicaid, but Medicaid actually gives them like an amount
A stipend for Uber?
Like an
to
Uber voucher.
yes, like an Uber
Oh.
to get them to their doctor's appointments.
Oh,
wow.
interesting.
So
That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I get on that and I need to not drive anymore, I guess I'll do that.
I still think you're a good driver, Bobby. I think you got a ways to go.
You got some time.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, you talk to Monique and she thinks I should quit driving.
Well,
Yeah.
not all of us
Fair
can
enough.
go 100 everywhere.
I got a fast car. It's fun.
Right.
All right. This has been interesting, kind of enlightening. I think this has been
Little
kind
bit.
of a cool episode.
Yeah,
Just
well,
to
I mean,
kinda
I thought
see
I
the
would
inner works.
switch it up a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, why not?
have so many gripes.
Yeah, awesome. Well, with that said, then,
Right.
do you have some delights, gripes? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, since we're like on a kind of a positive note, I'll go with a delight, you know. And my delight for today will be when people do. Well, I think I've said it before. When people do engage with you, I like when people tell their stories. I really do, you know, because for me, driving, I get something out of it. You know, I get to learn something, you know, new perspective, whatever, and then it also gives me the chance, like Brad, to kind of give my 2 cents, you know. And for me, you feel like you're making a positive impact. So as a driver, like that's a huge delight for me because you feel good afterwards. Like, hey, I gave some decent advice, or
Yeah.
maybe I gave him $50, or you know, like I picked up a young guy just the other night, and you know, I like, it's weird to say like I wrecked him emotionally, but you know, I have a little brother and he's got a brother, and so I was talking about like my relationship with my little brother, and the dude just like starts like tearing up. I was like, oh shit. You know, because his older brother's like really really mean to him, like beats him up, and like I guess broke his collarbone, and his older brother's got major problems. And I was like, man, that sucks, you know, because I was like, who, if not your brother, can you rely on in this world to like, you know, pull you through or whatever? And he's like, I've never had that. And I was like, oh shit, you know. And I was just naturally talking
Yeah.
about my own relationship with my own little brother, and yeah, you know, it wrecked him emotionally. And yeah, he was like grateful. He's like that there's men like you in this world. And I was like, and he was a young guy. He was like 19 years old, Native
Oh, wow.
American. Yeah, young dude. So I was like, okay, well, I'm glad that I had a positive impact, you know. So
That's cool.
yeah, those are my delights. Yeah, when people do actually share, it's okay.
And you get to share back, and there's
Absolutely.
this reciprocity of
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
of connection.
Yep.
How about you, Brad?
I'm gonna go with a gripe. I gotta
Why
go
not?
Because
against
Brad
the
is
same
an asshole.
Hey,
Just kidding.
No,
This
he
ain't
just,
me being the
he just
asshole.
Just
doesn't
kidding.
like dealing with assholes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm just messing
So
around.
in that vein, like my gripe is, I've had passengers give me a 1 star, and the feedback that they give is I talk too much.
Yeah.
If I'm talking too much, be a human being, quit being an asshole, and just tell me. It's as simple as that.
So
you
how
don't
would,
need
what,
to
how,
fucking
what
put
would
it
that
on
look
an
like? Hey, could you like stop talking to me? Would that be okay? I mean, how would you? How would you-
Anyway, just hey, you know what?
Yo,
I'm sorry,
you
I'm
know
not
what?
in the mood to
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah, no, like
is that
really,
this is
absolutely.
good? I think this is good
They'll
feedback.
they'll hold their phone, like, yeah, that's awesome, and like you get it. Like as the
Yeah.
driver, you know, like when they're like, oh, that's great, and they just give you a short response, and they're holding their phone,
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, you know, okay, they don't want to talk, and it's okay. You
So
know?
the a-hole probably is you ask a question, they engage quickly, and then
Yeah.
you ask another question.
Well, like I said,
And
I've
instead
had
of-
those before. Like I've had people that are like very short, and
Well,
okay, I get that.
Have you gotten the 1 star and thought about the drive and went, oh, maybe I should have known because this person wasn't as engaged as
Well,
I
you don't
was.
know
No, but
who's
sometimes,
leaving the
yeah,
1 star, by the
sometimes
way.
they are
So,
like engaging, but they're still just that big of an asshole just to say like, well, he's talking too much because I'm asking questions about your life.
And as a driver, the only reason you're really doing that is because you're in a
Past
fucking well, not just that.
You're in a
fucking
confined
confined
space.
space.
With some crazy person.
You're a random person to them. They're a random person to you. You want them to feel comfortable, ideally. You want them to feel like, I'm in a safe environment. So when you're talking to people, you want them, it makes them feel like, okay, he's a normal dude. He's just chatting with me. He's not some like just sitting up there angry and like, grunting as he drives. Like that would be uncomfortable.
That's very uncomfortable.
Exactly.
So I try to break the ice. Like that's why I ask questions.
You should chat with people. But yeah,
everybody's different and from different places. I remember the first time I went to New York.
Yeah.
And I rode the subway. That was the weirdest experience because sitting right next to people, everybody felt 1,000 miles away from each other.
Well, yeah.
It was
and I
bizarre.
Get that. Like
how we don't talk. I don't acknowledge that you're human. And literally, we're 2 inches away from each other.
Yeah.
And then some crazy person gets on the subway and starts screaming they're going to kill everybody, and nobody reacts at all. None. There's no reaction to the crazy person saying he's going to kill everybody. It's like, whatever. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, wow, I am not in reality right now.
Yeah. Well, and I get that. Like, to me, it's like read the room. Like, you can tell when people are like not wanting to talk. And the part that I have, the issue that I have is like they'll continue to converse with me, but then I'll get the 1 star later, and it's like just fucking tell me, hey, I don't want to talk. Shut up. Whatever. Something. Just let me know.
Yeah.
Don't
Then leaving
put it
a
on the
bad
app.
review and screwing them over with a 1 star because that is
because you
shit.
talked to them. That's pretty weird.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay. Well, no, that's a good gripe. I think so.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. I think this has been a pretty good show. I think this has been it's been interesting to me. I don't know if the listeners think, but I think it's super interesting. So, anything else? Are we good to go?
No, I think we're
Does
good
everybody
to go.
feel good?
No,
All
that's
right.
yeah.
All right, folks. You have been listening to Uber Tales. Don't shoot the driver.